I'm afraid that I come across annoying when I try to reach out to my non-Christian friends. Do you have any advice?
You know, I think it's a very good question to consider. Are we going to be annoying when we're trying to reach out to our non-believing friends? And I have a great little story that kind of illustrates what I'd want to teach on in this point. I had an exercise class that I went to for several years, and one of the gals that I got to be friends with in this exercise class, she was very upfront with me almost the first day that she was my sit-ups partner. She said, "I'm an atheist, I just want you to know that." And I think she probably knew I was a Christian, although I hadn't made any efforts at that point to speak about my Christianity. I mean, we were just sit-up partners. Well, over the weeks, every week during class, somehow we got paired together, and I knew that this was God's preparation for a conversation that might be coming. So I started praying, "God, I am giving you my willingness. You make the connections, and I'll speak whatever you put on my heart. But I don't want to speak out of line. I don't want to get ahead of you, but Lord, here's my willingness with this situation." So one week, I was her sit-up partner again, and we were all sweaty and pressing up and down and straining and all of that. And she said, "I have to tell you something. I went to go see my therapist this week." And I said, "Really? What'd you guys talk about?" And she said, "My therapist wanted me to define beautiful." And she said, "I had a really hard time because I've had a really hard life and not a lot about my life is beautiful." And so my therapist said, "Well, if you can't define beauty, think of someone in your life that you would say is beautiful." And she said, "So I thought of Deborah Norville because I think she's really beautiful." But then I told my therapist, "No, I want to change my answer. I think one of the most beautiful people that I know is this lady that's always my sit-up partner when I have my exercise class." And so I'm kind of rolling my eyes and I'm thinking, me? I mean, you always see me in my grungy, sweaty exercise clothes. I'm definitely not the picture of beautiful. So I kind of questioned her on that. And she said, "Lisa, it's not necessarily your physical beauty that I was referring to." She said, "Now, don't get me wrong. I think you're pretty." She said, "But when I think of beauty, I think of what's inside of you." And she said, "I really don't understand it, but there's something beautiful about you." And I knew at that moment I had lifted up my willingness. God had made the connection. So if you have a friend that you're wondering, how do I broach this topic that can sometimes be heated or maybe a little risky, I would say lift up your willingness to God and pray and say, "God, I am willing. You make the connection and I will step in obedience. Not ahead of you, not behind you, but right in step with you." And I think that some amazing things will happen for you.